1000 food family. We are making Brasato.
Brasato. And Miles, look at that big roast you've got. For those that don't know, we are eating our way through this book, 1000 Foods to Eat Before You Die. Today, we are making Brasato from Italy. And Miles, we got chuck roast.
We do.
What's beef?
Beef chuck cross rib roast, boneless.
Let me see, we got some chopped
Got
veggies.
some aromatics here. So this is very simple. We're starting it tonight. It's almost bedtime. We're gonna put this into marinate overnight. So yes, we're gonna put carrot and onion and a bay leaf tucked in there. I'm gonna put a little bit underneath here. And we're gonna put
Someone gonna pour a bottle of wine on it? One of the kids? Alan, you will? All right, go for it.
Did you put this lid on?
I did, yeah.
Okay, I'm just supposed to add some peppercorn. Okay. Pour it on there,
The
sir.
whole thing?
Yep.
The whole bottle. Glug, glug, glug.
This is a Riserva Chianti from Italy. Don't splash it on everybody. Thank you.
Nice.
Nice, good job. So this is gonna be refrigerated overnight.
That's what we're doing.
Okay, so now our meat has been in the fridge overnight. Talon, why don't you take that plastic off and see if you can get this meat out without all this other stuff. I'm gonna let you do it. I was just trying to show you the idea, okay? And put it on this yellow mat. And I have to squeeze it hard so it doesn't drop back in. Do a little shake. Let's see if I can help. Okay.
There's one back here.
That is purple.
Wow, it is, isn't it?
I got one of the pieces off.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah. So this is smelling pretty strong like that wine. Remember, we used a whole bottle. So if you guys wash your hands when you're done, you can dry the meat by patting it with these paper towels. Okay, so the boys finished patting dry our roast. That's gonna help it get a nice sear in a few steps here. Right now I'm gonna strain the veg. We are gonna come back to it later, but remember it had onions. No, buddy, you can't eat that. Onions, carrots, and celery with peppercorn and bay leaf, along with that Chianti that we used. So we're going to keep this here for now, and we're gonna heat this up on the stove.
All right, so while that marinade is heating up to a boil, we're gonna tie that meat off.
I know, there's a definite technique that I don't recall right at this time, but it says tie it together so that it keeps its shape. And I think that's because when you...
I think some roasts are just like longer, right?
Also, when you do a long cook, it can just kind of disintegrate. Like, see along this fat line, if I do it in a crock pot and then I went to take it out, it just comes out in pieces. So this will prevent that. So I'm just gonna kind of do my own style to try to keep it into like a nice little football shape, if that'll work.
All right, well that's now simmering, so we've got it on low heat. We're gonna try to reduce that by half.
In the meantime, I'm taking my tied off roast and I'm gonna sear it in some butter. So this isn't actually cooking it, but this is gonna impart some good flavor and kind of lock in some of that juiciness.
All right, well that looks really nicely browned in the butter. Looking good. What are you up to?
Okay. This is maybe my second time doing like a flambe. So this is a 1/4 cup of, this is Hennessy, it's cognac. What we want to do is we want to light it. Shoot! That's not going to work.
Hey, fire!
Yay, that's good. And then we're just going to let it flame out. That's fun. Second time's the charm.
That's all that does?
Yeah, it's the alcohol that's burning off, and then you get that flavor. Yeah, so our beef is browned. We fired off the cognac, and now I'm adding back in all of our flavor. I'm gonna scoot him over just a bit. There we go. And then the reduced marinade. Okay, that looks like just about perfect. Let's make sure the bay leaf made it in. It did. So we're gonna cover.
For 2 hours, right?
2 hours on low. I'm doing medium right now because our stove is a little weak, but we might have to come back and adjust that.
All right, it's been 2 hours. What do we got?
Ooh, it's been smelling up the house. It smells so good. Now's the time we're going to take the beef out. It does shrink up a bit with all that fat rendered down. We're going to untie it in a moment, but I'm going to just let it rest for a bit. Here we are. Here's a piece that did not make it. Nope, wait, that's onion. Okay, I thought that looked
so
like
we're gonna take these veggies out and put them in a blender. Put my heart in a blender and puree that, and then return it back.
There we go. So we've got our blended sauce. It's not completely pulverized. There's still some texture, which I think is good. And we're gonna blend this back with that reserved marinade and all those cooking liquids and that fat that came out. I'm gonna let this kind of marry for a few minutes and then we'll plate. Well, our braising or our cooking time is over, so I'm cutting off these strings. It's interesting to me how the meat changes, you know, it gets smaller and kind of tighter, but it's soft because of the long cook. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut slices and put it in here, and then we're gonna bring some of that beautiful sauce over. We're not looking for any kind of pink color because of the long cook, but I can see how the fat was kind of rendered. I don't really know what to compare this to, but I think it's gonna taste really good. Best. Here's our beautiful roast. See that coloring still on the outside from that wine marinade. I'm just gonna spoon all this good gravy and all those pureed aromatics and vegetables over top. It's gonna be so tasty.
All right, here we are at the table with that beautiful meat.
Yes.
We are ready to serve it.
Miles, you're losing a tooth.
Miles, show the viewers how much it's hanging on by.
Oh my goodness. That's gross.
Put a like if you think it should come out tonight.
Pull it See how many likes we get.
For sure.
We're probably gonna get one.
Got some mashed potatoes, some meat, some gravy.
That's gravy. I don't wanna eat it. Doesn't want to come off. All right, Dad, I'm ready.
All right.
Rubber's going.
It's good. The texture's nice. It's a bit chewy, not too bad, but just a little bit chewy. Yeah, it doesn't really remind me anything, which is unusual because usually the meats usually remind me of like chicken or something like that. But no, this kind of just has a taste of its own, which I think is pretty good. So yeah, I like it.
Okay, here's what you want to do. When you're ready.
What I want to
When you're ready, I want you to eat that bite on
do?
your fork.
This is kind of thick. Oh, Dad, I'm eating.
Okay.
Oh, it's good with the mashed potato.
Oh, I thought you don't like mashed potatoes.
Combine it with something else is good. Let's try just meat. Where's my sauce? Pretty good. I think it's a little bit better with mashed potatoes, but it's really good. I don't have to pour all this gravy on my plate. What's on my hand? Definitely, I could easily chew it unlike other beef. Like it's like you have to chew it a lot. Definitely easier to swallow. And the gravy and mashed potatoes definitely are better with it. And yeah, I think it's really good.
It's tender to you. You know, I think the kids are right. It's a great bite with the gravy and the potato. I kind of was imagining it was going to be like a pot roast, which is a little more stringy, more fall apart. This is definitely a little bit of a different texture where the meat holds together, but it is still super tender. You can definitely taste that wine. I mean, I think this is delicious, especially on a cold night. I have to say, the kids enjoying it as much as they are, it might have something to do with it taking quite a long time to get done. So they are definitely hungry for dinner, which, pro tip, if you want your kids to try something new, make them really hungry before you bring it to the table.
All right, so Italian Brasato. I was trying to think what else we've had where I can compare this to, and beef cooked in wine. I was remembering something, so I went back and we did beef cheeks, which was a French recipe. I think I preferred the beef cheeks to this. This was still pretty good roast. The sauce was good with the wine, a little kind of those sour notes to it, and vegetable, made a really nice gravy. But yeah, this is really just very delicious. Maybe not my all-time favorite meat dishes, but yeah, very good. Well, I think we've really gone through that. Kids, you guys have any final thoughts?
I do.
Oh yeah, what?
That it's really good, especially with the gravy, sauce, and the mashed potatoes. And this is one of my favorites of all time.
Oh, nice.
Of all time.
Like the Italian beef.
Covered it in the video. Like Italian, no way this is one of my top 10. My top 10s, I don't think are any meat items or any of the healthy stuff. I think it's like
But
stuff
you
like
did say you
terrell.
kind of like the mashed potatoes, which might be a first.
With the meat.
You like that
Okay.
perfect bite with everything together?
Yeah.
Miles, got any final thoughts, bro?
No.
Still have that tooth?
Let's pull it out.
All right, well.
Like it if you think we should rip it out of his mouth.
Oh, okay, that's a little hardcore, but Yes, but please like or subscribe to us if you'd like to see us try more 1,000 foods before you die. Love to hear the comments. Have you ever tried this before? Anyways, say goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye. Superman punch Spear.
See that tooth.